About a year ago, I transformed these giant Pokemon cards into 3D worlds, and we're going to revisit it in this video and kick it up a notch or two.
This video is brought to you by my 20% off back-to-school sale for the Pro Sketchback.
And with the original 3D card worlds, I really tried to theme that world around the Pokemon and create a cool lighting effect or whatever. This is an opportunity to take that up a notch or 10, using electric lighting effects to bring Pikachu's power to life. Now, I'm going to approach this building it the same way that I did my previous cards, creating a 3D housing, but creating a bit more room for more pizzazz. I also want to add a little bit of depth and have a Pokemon trainer in the background and create a sense of false perspective to really make this world feel even bigger than I have space to make it. We have my card housing, which perfectly fits my big Pikachu card. The diorama can be fully removed, so I can work on the lighting and the effects and all of the... So I can work on the lighting and the effects and all this cool stuff separately. Now, this giant chubby Pikachu card is a fair amount bigger than the Charmander, Bulbasaur, Squirtle ones that I made previously, which gives me quite a bit more room to do the diorama in, which is going to be perfect if I'm going to get ambitious with the lighting effects. But before I can do that, I need a Pikachu. I jumped online, purchased a few different 3D printable Pikachus and Pokemon trainers, making sure to grab a couple of options of each and printing at different sizes so that I can find the best combination for the project. And having printed a variety of options gives me a variety of things to choose from and find the right combination. They all need a bit of a wash though, because at the moment, more like pickachu. I'm sorry. All right, while he's having a bath, it's time to swap in for some clear resin and 3D print some lightning effects. Now that Pikachu's nice and clean after his bath, it's time to remove all these prints from their supports and start to construct and visualize inside my diorama space what this scene could look like. Now, I had a variety of options to choose from, and I'm going with, gotta be daring, the biggest Pikachu and one of the smaller Ashes. Pikachu is gonna be half out of the card, and for the false perspective to be really effective, the lightning effects that I'm gonna be doing need to sort of cover the horizon a little bit and help separate him from Ash and the background. All right, Pikachu, I'm gonna need a hand or two. Mixing up a combo of Milliput and green stuff, I sculpted a few hands that are in a bit more of a leapy direction. Previously, it looked like he was standing. This time, he is flying through midair. And that's gonna need a cure overnight, so it's time to move on to building the scene. Now, I have to start figuring out how to light the whole box without making it look like I have lights pointing down directly into the box. With a combination of sanding some flexible clear plastic card, finally enough that it becomes matte and has a bit of a frosted effect, and then also doing the same around the rest of the box, I ended up with a pretty decent diffused light box. Now on to the next lighting effect. Anyone who watched that previous video will remember that I did something a little different with my Charmander. I did a lava flow beneath him and lit him from underneath where the others were lit from the top. So I want to create a similarly cool underlit effect with my Pikachu, this time with lightning instead of fire. It's time to use a bit of foam and all sorts of smooshes and glues to build up an environment. Now we need to figure out the very ambitious false perspective trick. To start this process, I used a really fine flock for the back hills of the scene, a 2mm static grass for the medium area. It's also a little bit lighter. And then I come in at the end with a much longer 7mm light static grass for the front to create some tall grass right in the foreground, and hopefully accentuating that perspective effect. While that sets, it's time to paint a tiny Pokemon trainer to go in the background. As you can see, we're gonna have some pretty sharp popping highlights on Ash because at the end of the day, we're gonna add a lot of light under Pikachu for these lightning effects. And it needs to feel powerful enough that that light and that energy is reaching all the way back to him. Speaking of electric effects, I think my 3D print is done. Time for a bit of a wash, a cleanup, and a cure. Now these are going to be attached to that little gap we left that we're going to open up later and going to be lit from underneath. Cure the resin with LEDs as well. So this, in theory, will also catch the light in here in a pretty cool... Oh my God! Oh my God, that's so good! How good is that? Oh! That is proof of concepting our lightning effects, which are going to just make this the ultimate 3D Pokemon scene. Oh my God. After shaping my tree trunks and giving them a spray, it was just a matter of using a bit of glue in this pre-made canopy fabric stuff. I don't know what it is, but it's freaking cool is what it is. You can just make awesome trees really quickly. This false perspective thing was starting to work really well, but I also realized I don't have a sky and I have to do that before I lock all this in place. So time to pull apart the whole thing and give a gentle light blue airbrushing to the interior of the box and the card at the back. This, combined with a little bit of cotton wool in the sky to act as clouds and further diffusion, will be the foundation laid ready for my whole piece to start locking in place. With my environment put together and set aside to dry, it's time to move on to the main event.
This is shaping up to be one of my favorite ever Pokemon projects. I've done a few in my day, but a lot of the recent ones you'll have noticed have gone according to plan, and a plan I've usually put together with my Pro Sketchback. We are holding a 20% off back to school sale. This is just for a few weeks, so don't miss out, but it is your chance, and you're not going to get many chances, to get $200 worth of professional premium art materials for under $80, which is mind-blowing. If you're going back to school or uni, or you just want to get ultra creative with premium materials, the Pro Sketchback is exactly what you want. With a custom embossed carry case to keep everything safe and tucked together and organized, to the artist quality professional sketchbooks included, and so many materials of the best kind ever. I've hand curated these and love them, and you will too. From professional alcohol markers to water soluble graphite and the best set of 7 incredible pens and brush pens you've ever used, accessories and loads more. The Pro Sketchback is pro and packed full of amazing art materials. And for just a few weeks, you can get a further 20% off, and split payments are still available. The news just keeps getting better. So go check it out at prosketchback.com. 20% off is our back to school sale, and it's going to be ending soon. So don't miss out, and support the channel and yourself, because you're going to love creating art with the Pro Sketchback.
Pokemon paint schemes are relatively straightforward. They're 1 or 2 colors on average and not super detailed. But Pikachu, when he's charged and pulsating with lightning and energy, tends to have some hot spots of bright highlights and some dark spots of shadow, which, aside from potentially making this look really cool, will also help him stand out from the environment, which is much more naturalistically put together. In theory, really helping him stand out, making the whole scene look awesome. It's time to go back to the whole scene and to put everything together one piece at a time. All right, it's time to do a dry fit. We have a scene which I think has some pretty effective false perspective. We have a Pikachu card, electric light. Yes! Okay. I've got all these delicate clear resin 3D printed lightning charges, which I will have splaying all around him. I need to set them in place with UV resin. I also can make some custom little tails and very delicate charges sort of spreading out from these with UV resin, which is also going to be my glue. So it all comes down to this last step. I really hope this works. With these delicate resin crystalline pieces, slowly but surely this electric charge fills this space to create this awesome energy pulse effect. With every piece going into place, with every spark of electricity coming to life, I fall more and more in love with this project. This is just working so well and is so much fun. I knew there was a reason Pikachu gets his own project. Don't get me wrong, the other starters were cool, but this is another level. With everything finally put together, that is my finished ultimate Pikachu card. Now it's just time to hand it off to our little buddy for the big ending. Pikachu, I choose you.
Oh my god! This is so cool. The other 3 cards I did were cool, but they feel like the dabble. This feels like the dive. We took this so far, and like in every element. Not only is Pikachu and the lightning effect awesome, but the false perspective works really well, like surprisingly well. It's fairly seamless. It's kind of hard to see where the background ends. I am so proud of this. This has been so much fun. And if you have enjoyed this, please hit the like button. Let me know in the comments if I'm gonna take this the next step further. What do I do? I've done the original 3 starters and a big Pikachu. A VMAX Charizard. Full art. That would be, I don't know, get typing down below. But in the meantime, that is it for this video. Thank you for watching. And until next time, I'll see you later.